An injured boy was running through the streets of ancient Tokyo, desperately dodging the punches of a monstrous being that could have ended his life in an instant, and just as he was about to be crushed, a mysterious girl appeared and saved him. But before he could even thank her, a creature burst out from her body which gives Narihara a jump scare. So to save some face, Narihara blurted that he's actually super powerful and could have easily defeated those monsters back there if only he hadn't been injured, that is, surprisingly. The girl believed him, and with a small teasing smile, she told him she'd be waiting for him to come save her too with that power someday. Then, with one wink, Narihara fell head over heels for her. Determined, he decided to confess his love right then and there, but suddenly, the world shattered and in an instant, Narihara snapped back to reality as he was tied to a pole. Mocked by goons in some place on Earth, they laughed at him for daydreaming about some fantasy girl in this situation, and their Narihara recalls he had already tried 1,999 times to find her. And nothing could stop him now. When they mocked him again, he stood up and got ready to fight while he's all tied up, because it's my family motto, he said, to never admit defeat even after death. And somehow, he won and left the group behind. Bruised but unbroken, on his way out he spotted that tiny hamster of the same girl, so he rushed to save it from an oncoming Truck-kun. But of course Truck-kun did what Truck-kun does best, and just like that Narihara was sent to another world. But what insane luck! He landed right in front of the very girl he'd been chasing across realities. Still, it's his 2000th try and he finally found her. He tried reminding her of the night she saved him, but she only looked more confused. The place he landed in seemed to be a stage, and the girl was in the middle of a performance. Then crowd gasped as the hamster drops onto Narihara, causing him to stumble and crash right into her by accident, but it's epic accident. Then from the crowd a man named Abino, who was a VIP, had enough, and he used binding magic on Narihara with spiritual force and orders to have him thrown out. Even the girl agreed, and now on the street, bruised and starving, Narihara asked a kid where he could find a convenience store, and he pointed towards one. But there the owner refused to accept his cash money, and with a dead phone and no digital payment, Narihara was tossed out again. Furious, he asked a passerby where he even was. The man said it's Jo7 Square, Boko Lane, but there's no Tokyo here, this is Denji Heiankyo City. That's when it clicked that his first encounter with that girl wasn't in Tokyo, but it was in this world. But it made no sense as the buildings were ancient, yet the technology was strangely advanced. Then as he tried to make sense of it, red sirens blared through the sky, alarming an alert to take shelter immediately, because the black mist was coming. Confused and panicked, Narihara ran only to find the gates sealing shut from all sides, so he tried to save a child from the mist at least. Nothing happened to him, but the people around him turned to black crystal. Then the monster came, huge, twisted, and crushing the petrified victims under its feet. Narihara was horrified, yet he screamed to get its attention. It fired a heat ray directly at him, but still Narihara survived. Then just as it was about to finish him off, a spiritual mech, or a Shikigami, crashed down and saved him. Two warriors piloted it. Yura and Atsunaga. They were stunned to see a human unaffected by the black mist, and still, Narihara wouldn't back down and said he wants to fight the demon himself. But the warriors kept him aside and quickly handled it with a burst of spiritual-powered laser beam. With it the black mist faded slowly. Kuzuhahua Commander couldn't make sense of who, or what, Narihara was. Then Atsunaga scolded Narihara for charging into danger. Narihara was a delinquent, so obviously he won't listen. That is why Yura told him the truth. You're not an onmyoji, so you can't fight a demon. Everything was overwhelming, but Narihara stayed hypered and went off determined to find his place. Then she appeared, his dream girl. Her name was Tsukimiya, and she was still furious and yelled at him for ruining her performance, that even VIPs had come to see it. But when she noticed he was injured, her anger softened and she brought him home to patch him up. There Narihara tells her everything, and she listened and got puzzled because there's no city called Tokyo here. So maybe he's from another world. But then came the suspicion of how he survived the black mist. Maybe he wasn't human. So Narihara defended himself, and eventually they explained that the demons invade through the black mist, and onmyoji are the ones keeping the city safe. Everyone respects them, and if anyone would know how to send him back, it would be them. Yura, Atsunaga, and the elite onmyoji were heroes to everyone, and their leader is Abino. That night while everyone fell asleep, Tsukimiya continued to practice her dance alone, and Narihara was in awe seeing her. She asked if they have really met before. Narihara nodded and said, "You saved me once and I promised to return the favor," and she smiled and said, "Then I'm counting on you." Then the next morning her family apologized to VIP's servant to smooth things over. But the servant said chief advisor was angry, so Tsukimiya was asked to personally visit the chief advisor and apologize. Narihara tried to take the responsibility again, but Abino quickly immobilized him with a single gesture. cold and confident he told Tsukimiya she would be safe and took her away to get to the castle. But fate had other plans. As they headed toward the castle, the black mist surged again and Tsukimiya's car got trapped inside. Seeing that, Narihara raced in desperately to reach her. Inside, Atsunaga and Yura were already battling Demon, and Narihara searched for Tsukimiya, but the demon cornered them by opening gates to attack from all sides and charges a massive energy beam. Yura knew they couldn't dodge, or it will hit the civilians behind them, so they took the blast head-on. Broken and barely standing, they were about to fall and just then stepped forward ready to distract the monster. Power surged within him, but he was struck down before he could act. Kuzula gasped, but Abino simply said he'll be fine. Then, just as the demon prepared another attack, Narihara rose up and changed. The power inside him awakened and he deflected the blast and transfers into something unknown but yet powerful. He fought the thing and he saved them all, and just when he thought it was over, he didn't knew one important thing. Destroy the demon's core. So the demon came back and in an instant, it killed Tsukimiya and Narihara both. But destiny wasn't done yet, so as Narihara blacked out, time rewound. And right there our episode 1 ends for today, so stay tuned to watch the next episode, and for that subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Till then, take care.